Finally made it back home, you guys, and I decided to make this as a two-part video, like separated into two videos. First will be the event, the Daylight Contenders event, and the second half will be the Guillermo del Toro panel, which honestly, it was just so long. It was like around 30 minutes. And I feel like it's for the best if I could separate them by different videos so I could easily edit and also as well just to stand on its own rather than combine with the other events happening in that event, happening there. But the thing is that yeah, I think it's for the best for me to separate these two. So before I begin the video, I will say that for anyone that watched the previous video, thank you guys. So sorry I had to end it a little roughly though, because well, I don't know how to end this video in particular. So I decided for this one, I'll make an intro and say that I hope you guys really enjoy the Guillermo del Toro panel they did for, for Deadline. And I will say, yeah, they done a really solid job this year. Granted, I still wish they still let us meet the actors and everything. And yeah, also Sydney Sweetie, not really. Not really a fan. But yeah, Guillermo del Toro, I hope you enjoyed this one as well. So yeah. Well, okay, you guys. Well, this is why I'm actually here. And finally, Guillermo del Toro is going to accept his award very soon. So that's what I'm here for today. And I'm excited for that part so much. It's going to be worth it. I just know it. If you see my videos, I have previously interacted with Guillermo del Toro, and he's been pretty awesome. Yeah, very excited to just be here, just to see him again.
To the stage, Deadline co-editor-in-chief, film, Mike Fleming.
Hi everyone, hope your lunch was nice. We had steak and lobster in the green room.
Thank you.
Stop teasing us like that. So, a few years ago, I had lunch, and actually me and Ryan Fleming, who you met earlier, had lunch at San Diego Comic-Con with Guillermo del Toro. And we're sitting there just shooting the breeze, having the best time, and his manager, Gary Unger, comes by, and he's got this beautiful leather-bound book, and he says, I got this back from the museum. And so he hands it to Guillermo, and I say, can we see what that is? And it turns out it is the visual renderings of Pan's Labyrinth that he drew on the page. And I'm looking at it, and then I'm looking at my friend here, and I'm like, this guy is not from the same planet that I'm from. Reminded me of when the first time I sat with Leonardo DiCaprio, and I was like, he's such a nice guy. I could be his friend. And then I looked at him again and I realized, like, I never had a friend in my life who was half as good looking as this guy and as this guy. So once again, it's a Frito Corleone moment for me. But, well, you all know and love Guillermo and his films, and I'm going to bring him out here and dote on him. And we decided that he was our guy.
Here he is.
Doing Contenders for like 16 years.
Yay!
And we wanted a Hall of Fame. We wanted our Hall of Fame, and he is our first person to do this. Welcome.
Get over here, man. Get over here. Yeah. Woo! Hello, hello. Welcome back.
Welcome. Okay. See, we have a plaque, and we also have a participant ribbon, which we'll give you after. So, you know him. I can go through his list of credits. Pan's Labyrinth, Shape of Water, Kronos, Pinocchio, Blade 2. In the world of Gaiju, of Pacific Rim, Hellboy, The Hobbit, the screenplays, Nightmare Alley, The Devil's Backbone. I have to say, Guillermo, I've been a fan of your work forever, as you know, and I think Frankenstein was the most fully rendered realization of your outsized imagination. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, thank you. And I would hope so, because I mean, everything has been leading to that. For more than 30 years of career and 50 years of obsession led to that. And you know, every practice, every makeup effects, every learning with the crane, the storytelling, all leads to that.
Well, once I visited you at Bleak House, I walk in, and on the second floor, I think it was, is a gigantic green head with the neck bolts, and it's Boris Karloff as Frankenstein. So tell me, why were you so obsessed with Mary Shelley's book and the idea of this kind of modern Prometheus creating life and all the things that happen? And then we'll get into the way you veered from that sacred text.
Yeah, first of all, the room that holds the Frankenstein collection has hundreds of models I've painted over the years. That giant head, a full-size Jack Pierce making up Boris Karloff, a full-size Frankenstein monster with the Maria giving him the flowers, a full-size visitation with the bride and the groom, and many, many other things, a live cast of Boris, portraits, and I call that the living room. It really is an obsession that started at 7. Jacob Elordi said it better than I can. When we were talking about him playing the creature, he said, that creature is more me than me. And I feel that way. You know, I was really out of place growing up. I didn't understand anything that was being explained to me about the real world. And I saw how adults lied to each other, lied to others, and lied about the truth of the world, and perfection, which was demanded of a kid, was suffocating. And I didn't understand that until I saw Boris Karloff cross the threshold in that movie, 1931's Wales Frankenstein, and I went into almost a paroxysm. I said, we had just gone to church at 8 a.m. And I felt, well, that was church, this is my Messiah. You know, and at 11 I read the book, and I said, well, that's not the movie I saw. And I wanna, the spirit of this book, what I felt reading it, I wanna make it into a movie. I was a Super 8 filmmaker at age 7, so it took at 11, so it took a while, but I made it.
Boy, so your creature, though, this movie, there is no green creature with neck bones.
No.
There's no Abby Normal in terms of the brain that
Great movie, though.
delivered. Absolutely. So tell me, and your creature is very empathetic.
Yeah.
So he basically has a regular brain. He's very empathetic. Talk a little bit about where you veered into your own territory as to how to accentuate this. And it really is Victor who's the monster.
Yeah, it is. In my opinion, first of all, the classic whale film deviates completely from the text already. I mean, it's based on 1927 play, stage play, and there's no Fritz, the hunchback assistant, there's no abnormal brain, there's no accidental replacement of that brain, etc. My interest of the text was to chronicle the journey of the creature, which is the text. Mary Shelley partially is trying to put a philosophy layer on top of it, that is John Milton's Paradise Lost. Falling out of grace and asking the Creator, why me? Why am I here? What is my role as a human? Very profound questions that are asked in the book. The book was written when Shelley was a teenager, and it has all the urgency of that age and all the nervous questions and sort of undisciplined structure that makes it, no pun intended, come alive. And I wanted to capture the beauty of that. I wanted also, through the decades, I studied the 3 different versions of the book. I studied the life of the romantics of Mary Shelley, and I fused her biography, my biography, what I know about the Romantics and the book. The act of adaptation of a book should not ever be taxidermy. Should be making it live again. Show you a living, breathing animal. You know, and the act of adapting it needs profound knowledge of it. And I think I achieved it over the decades. And finally, I think we're born with one or two songs in ourselves. And I am Johnny Cash singing Hurt. I aged into it. I failed into it. I succeeded into it. My knees hurt, my soul hurts. I have fucked up enough that I feel the pain of the questions that she has. And I try to sing that song as if it's new.
Well, now, I notice the anatomical drawings that we see in the pictures and that board that has the nerve system.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining that you did all that. Is that fair?
Well, it's based on my drawings. It's based on my diaries, and the plank with the lymphatic system. First of all, her mother buys that because syphilis circulates through the lymphatic system, which is what he's interested in curing. And this is based on a real plank. There are 4 planks like that in the Ontarian Museum of Medicine in London. There's a lot of research we did before, and that was one of the things. When we wanted to, we went into, I wrote the screenplay through an 1835 Library of Medical Science, and we consulted with Victorian surgery experts to do the most detailed anatomically assembling of the creature ever put on film.
So you know, you've got a fine cast in this movie. Jacob Elordi, you've got Oscar Isaac, you've got Mia Goth, and she's just enchanting. And then you've got Christoph Waltz as, well, spoiler alert, the syphilitic benefactor.
And arms dealer.
Yeah, arms dealer. So what is,
I already seen it,
what
so
is more
no
fun
worries.
for you? Creating those renderings or directing these actors?
You know, I love when the things, when you get a good actor on the set and you wrote the screenplay, you think, I'm a really good writer. If you don't have a great actor, you're a terrible writer. You know, a great actor is the ambassador between the emotion and the audience. There's no two ways about it. You're not there. You have to entrust the moment on an actor, and it's the highest bond at work in a movie set. So if you cast well, that's most of it. To me, I cast eyes. The eyes of the actor have to embody the soul of the character, because then the energy is there. The eyes of Jacob Elordi are exactly what I needed for that creature. The eyes of Mia, always curious, always humanistic and compassionate, but in awe of the world. That's what I needed. Christoph Waltz, calculating, scary, and then he acts and he's even more. But each of them, Oscar Isaac has the sort of gothic, swarthy romance, a little bit of madness, but a lot of vulnerability. So I really enjoy working with the actors so much.
Well, now, Ridley Scott once told me that when he reads a script, even in a movie he doesn't do, he sees exactly how he would shoot it. He said, I guess it's my superpower, but what I had to learn how to do was to tell stories and to tell good stories, and he worked really hard on that. What is your strongest suit, would you say, when you do these things? I mean, I think I know what it is. Just having flipped through that incredible book of storyboards. But give me a sense of what you're good at and what you really have to work hard to be good at.
Well, if I have to say, I have disciplined myself over the decades to create worlds in which incredible beauty and horror can coexist, to provoke an emotion that is unique. And it's an emotion that uses horror as a parable to heal things that you cannot name. I don't use horror as a genre to scare or to jolt. It can shock, but I want to use it in the way that a fairy tale or a parable would be, where it moves you emotionally to a place that is profound and deep and, as I would say, only reached by monsters, you know. And I think that in creating that, I try to not create eye candy, but eye protein, beautiful images that are telling a story. And I think the rest is just, you have to work really hard all the time about the tone of that. Because in order for that creature to exist, you need to create the whole world around it. And it has to be tonally right for that creature. And then you work at that, deploying the emotion you need through that. Because if you have the same creature step into a Sidney Lumet movie, you would go, what the hell is that? You know, tonally the movie, audiovisually, needs to exist in an elevated tone so that that creature can exist in the screen. And you have to watch very, very carefully for that. You have to make sure that no department is operating independently. All cinematography is wardrobe, wardrobe is set design is cinematography, etc., etc. They need to operate as a single directed symphony that is going to deploy then the emotion.
Well now, and I can see, because of the vast following for your movies, that there's a universality to this idea, but many of your films, like this one, focus on outsiders. You know, tell me about what in your formative years made you value that so much and identify with it.
I think the best way to see the world is a little bit on the outside. You know, the world of the things that are normative. You know, I find success, the idea of success, repellent. The idea of romantic love, repellent. I find the idea of positive perfection, putting someone in a pedestal where there's no oxygen. And like fallibility. I think that we live in a world that is black or white and is in the gray that we have the oxygen. So we are depriving, we're suffocating each other to death. And monsters are a great parallel for that.
Wow. He went through a 7-month ordeal where he was kidnapped.
72 days, yeah.
72 days.
Yeah, I remember that.
What was worse, that or working with the Weinstein?
The Weinstein.
Oh.
No,
They're both terrible.
The other thing, you knew what they wanted. The Weinsteins, who the fuck knew what they wanted? I didn't. No, I wanted to.
Tell them that. You tell them.
Was the worst ordeal. The worst ordeal. Because it lasted more than 72 days.
Yeah, it's
also,
really sad.
There was in the structuring of the kidnapping, a negotiator guides you through it. And the negotiator tells you what's going to happen, how is it going to, the outcome is going to be. The guy arrived on the first day, and I said, how many conversations? We said 2. How much did you offer them? 100,000 is what we could gather. He said, he's going to be in 70 days. Like that. He knows, and he says, the next phone call you're going to make is, we have no money. 100,000 are not here. We can give you $50. And he says, and you're going to say it exactly like that. No, you have to say it like that. And he guided every conversation, and they were, when somebody says, did you have a tough call with the studio? I go, fuck no. I have tough phone calls. Those are not tough. You know, that was, and there's images in the movie and moments in the movie that come from that ordeal.
Well, can you remember a comparable conversation that was less predictable that you had with Harvey Weinstein about
It was
the movie?
It was there was a
Weinstein.
very surreal conversation with Bob Weinstein. We developed a movie called Mimic, which is about giant insects that simulate, they look like humans, and they use the subway to prowl and take people down. And we developed the insect step by step, approved by Bob, you know, and we made the puppet a giant, hundreds of $1,000 mechanical puppet with radio control, and we finally tested on top of an actor, and Bob calls me and says, it looks like a bug. Bug is a bug. I mean, did you read the screenplay? It's a giant insect. Can we put him some fangs? And I go, insects don't have fangs. What about some hair? Insects don't have hair. You know, there were moments that are funny now, but another one is we went in and we saw a movie set. it was the sewers. And we entered the stage, and you see the sewer hole from outside, and then the pipe connecting the other hole, and he says, it looks like a submarine. I said, Bob, that's not the set. That's the outside of the set. Well, it looks like a submarine. No, come in. And we go into the set, and he says, oh yeah, this looks better. Promise me you'll never shoot it from over there.
Wow. More for the kidnappers.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah.
You promised more reasonable.
I think the kidnappers are working on an agency now.
Maybe. Who knows?
Well,
They charge 10%.
so now, as I recall, it was Jim Cameron who helped
James
you.
Cameron.
With the negotiator.
Yes, and what does that say about the fraternity of ambitious, big swing filmmakers that he would just take it upon himself to get involved like that?
Jim and I, for whatever reason he chose to be simpatico with me, we've been brothers for more than 30 years. I used to stay at his house and we would watch anime together, and we would talk about science fiction and books and all that. And when my dad was taken, I called Jim and he said, I'm sending a negotiator right away. And he wanted to then come in and investigate with a bunch of Marines and Navy SEALs and all that. And I said, it doesn't work quite like that in Mexico. And I think the Navy SEALs would probably be kidnapped 2 days into. But we've been brothers ever since. And I found, in my opinion, the industry likes to mythologize the bad. But I've met many of the most decent people I know in this industry. You know, many people that are true to their word, even when there is no paper. They are true to their aims, and you know, I happen to believe in hanging out with directors, which I do. We get together very often, every week, and we talk shop. Because I think there is something noble, not mythologized, not talking about just vision. I mean, vision is such a bad word. It means they don't know how to market your fucking movie. A visionary, that means from the guy that does that thing you like, there's more of that in this movie. But we don't know how the fuck to market it, so come and see it. But I think that we are hardworking people. There's a guild for a reason. We are doing poetry with hardware. Rails, cameras, pieces of glass that are called lenses, and we gotta get the day on time and on budget. There's a lot of the craft that has to make you a responsible, trusting, and trustable human being. And I like that side of it.
Well, now, do you, so you talk about these people who are taking big swings, and I remember we talked about Mimic a lot over the years, and you had said, you know, Mike DeLuca giving me Blade 2 has completely revived my career, and I mentioned that to Mike, and Mike said, I got the director of The Devil's Backbone and Chronos to do Blade 2. Are you kidding me? Who made out better in that deal? I made out better than that deal, but Mike is behind a couple of big swings this year in Sinners, and one battle after another, and your movie is a huge swing, I think. Now we're in a world where the town is contracting. Paramount could buy Warner Brothers, and that would, like just the way that Disney swallowed Fox a few years ago. And there's talk of AI, and here you've made this movie and you built the ship, the one that's frozen in the ice.
We built everything, and we wove the fabric.
That incredible lab, and the layer underneath it where the creature stays, and then there's, I mean,
And it looked like a submarine from the outside.
yes, it did. And I know, and I didn't see any hair on Jacob Elordi until the end on his head, but insects don't have hair, and I guess neither do your creatures. But give us something to feel encouraged about when there's all these setbacks: COVID, AI. Guild standoffs with studios that lead to strikes. What should we feel good about going into the future of this incredible art form?
I believe that two things that are important. Speaking about things that matter to you, really matter to you. Not make a movie because it can be done or it complies with your idea of a career, but doing it because your life depends on it. I believe that you can always identify the truth in the voice of a storyteller. That's one. The other one is making them by hand, from humans for humans, and making the crafts that you engage with, all the guilds that you engage with, sort of modelic, like craft aspirational.
Yeah.
If you can make a set construction or production designer dream of a set and see that you made a set, or a wardrobe designer look at the pageantry of beauty and power and storytelling it lifts other people and gives them hope. I think those are two things that we can feel good about. There's a lot of people working in different areas. You have people shooting Vistavision, 70 millimeters. There's acolytes of the chemical film. I have people that are interested in distributing differently. There's many things that are moving, and I think we are bound to see a counter movement. And we are the way the pendulum swung with vinyl, so to speak. I think that in Europe and in some ways in the large cities in America, repertoire theater is well attended, is going on. So what happens with that, and when the next generation wants to go to the theater, when will they go? As far as AI, I have my opinions. People have heard them.
Yep.
But basically, they can be surmising fuck AI. That would be a succinct way of putting it. But what we must understand with AI is, I don't know, it may be useful for architecture, chemistry, medicine, I don't know. But as far as art, I don't think any artist raised their hand and said, can we have AI? I don't think so. AI is like a guy that wandered into a party uninvited, shouted in the middle, and now wants to be applauded for it.
No,
But nobody wanted.
No, that's a good
come
one.
in and have some drinks, have fun. No. And so the real thing is you have people that have spent a lot of money on something that has no ideas but permutations of ideas from people that already made them. So it knows what has been done. It doesn't know what to do next. It's not a human. And the second part of that is more interesting to me is not how much you invested on the program or how many programs you've sold. If people buy a movie that is done by AI, that's the threshold. Will you pay $12 for a song done by AI?
Yep.
Will you pay 12, 13 bucks to watch a movie? And if that happens, then we'll get the movies we deserve. I'm afraid to say.
Well, and we're going into overtime here, but I am the co-editor-in-chief, so.
You showed them.
I have two more questions. So Frankenstein goes back to age 7 for you. This has been your longing. Is there another dream project like that another mountain for you to climb that you're desperate to do?
Yes, and it won't happen, I don't think, but it's at the Mountains of Madness. I'm wanting to make it for that long, or equally as long, but it also is very exciting to have a clean slate, to be able to be afraid of it again, like when you were young, and scare yourself into something new. I like that. I think that it's important to, when you're young, you fight real hard to do your thing. And then you do your thing, and now the fight is, can you stop doing your thing and do something else, please?
Yeah.
And that's the sign of a last stage career and a last stage storyteller vocation, to shake yourself up and go back to being 20-something and not know how you're going to solve something, because that's a privilege. When you're older, a privilege is being a little afraid of what you're about to do. That's fantastic.
Well, I've been doing the same thing for like 40 years, so what does that mean? It makes me an underachiever, I suppose. But I don't know.
Go another 10 minutes. Sweat it a little, man.
So now, All right, and then I've got my last question is a personal question and one that
No, I cannot loan you money right now.
and this is one that nobody ever asks me. Where's the rest of you?
Oh, Ivan, you know, I did lose 120 pounds.
Ooh, how great is that?
And I can tell you, there's plenty more where that came from. Thank you for noticing.
I love it.
Fella.
Listen, I love it. We talked about, I want to see your filmography is this long. I would love when we're done, and when we're all done and sitting around laughing about it, for it to be this long.
Yeah.
So, and you know, and taking care of yourself is a great part of that. So,
I may last a few years more now, thanks to this and the diet.
that's right. You know, and, I love it. I love it. And all right, so I think we've covered. We've justifiably justified the first Contenders Hall of Famer. And I would love for everyone to show you the accolade. Show you the accolade.
Go back to your language.
Película tan increíble. Gracias. Y tu actor, el oh my God.
Here he is, you guys. He's been wonderful. He's wonderful as always. Okay, so yeah, that's all I'm doing. Sadly, couldn't get any other panels, but the thing is that the rest of it, oh my God, I'm just here for Guillermo del Toro, and yeah, Frankenstein, man. I mean, it's fantastic. Oh my God, so cool. But anyways, yeah, and he did mention K-pop Demon Hunters, you guys. He loves it too. That's so cool. All right then. So that'll be it for today, you guys. So I'll be heading home very soon. I don't want to get wet. And yeah, Guillermo del Toro, once again, awesome. Oh my God. Oh well, at least we yeah, at least I saw him again, so that's something. So I'll be heading back home, you guys, and I'll be talking about the event in a little bit once I get home, okay? All right. Okay, so I made it home safely. I just want to say to everyone that watched my videos this month, saying thank you. And I know it hasn't been that much per se, but I hope this one does help recover the amount of views and content I have, you know, for this month. Because afterwards, I still have plenty more to do. So I am pretty excited for the future of my channel all the way till the end of this year, I will say. But overall, you guys, thank you guys for watching. And shout out again to Guillermo del Toro. I mean, he's still one of the greatest. And I'll see you all next time, you guys. Thank you. You guys take care. Bye-bye.